This computer is built, the computer behind me is built, it works. All we really do is we have to do some cable management and possibly get some hard drives in there, start testing it. Pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that computer and we'll start building the next computer. And once we build the next computer, we can test them both side by side. Remember last video how I couldn't get the motherboard out of the case? Well, yes, my dad came through and yes, he got the motherboard out of the case. But now the bigger issue is, not really the bigger issue, the other issue is, look at this, look here. These are standoffs that are stuck in here. And if this ever happens to you, the simple solution is to use a pair of pliers and get a drill or a screwdriver and screw them out. Just like so. Motherboard free. Come on, work. Please work. There's no video. 7. Yeah. This looks fine. Right now, we can move on to testing. Actually, where did I put my test drives? Oh. Yep, that's the jank setup. So while I was gone, I left the computers to set up devices, but let me show you this. The computer is now randomly shutting off. This means two things. Number one, it's a broken part. Number two, this is the most common faulty power supply, or there's something shorting this computer out. Last time this happened with a similar issue like this one, the fix is to use the tried and true 8-card method, and that's what I should have done at the beginning, but I was trying to cut some corners. Tips to you guys, don't cut corners. Yep, this thing is still bootlipping. I don't know why, but for some reason the computer is absolutely stable when I put on an 8-card. I guess the computer works. We're in Windows. Let's just quickly fire up a Unity Heaven benchmark. Yeah, so pretty much every time it happens to me, every time with like 1 or 2 of these i5 4th gen PCs that I have, they always somewhat, they just die when it's in the case, but when I put it onto an 8-card, it works. This is a GTX 960 2GB, and in total, pretty much before in the past, a GTX 960 cost me about 200 bucks. This whole PC here costs about 260. That's some good value. And looking at the graphics card, it's a GTX 960, yeah. Let's run a benchmark and roll the OG benchmarking Unity Heaven music. So pretty much currently right now, this computer has proved its reliability, just been looping Unity Heaven. Next thing I'm gonna do is definitely gonna, if it is a power supply, since I know this power supply works with the GPU and with this combo, I'm gonna just take this power supply out and replace it with this one. So the computer runs perfectly fine, posts perfectly fine when it's on the 8-card, but when it's in this case, it doesn't turn on at all. The most likely issue it is a short. Short circuits do happen, but I can't seem to find the source. And I'm also using the same power supply from the case, which I haven't really taken apart, which I'm just wiring back onto the motherboard, if you see over here. I got this computer to actually work. Right now I was doing another Unity in Heaven test just to test stability, as I don't want to be shipping a computer out that randomly dies. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this computer to install updates, drivers, and then we can just finish testing it, get some quick benchmark numbers, and then can take photos of them on another day, and then we can finally list it. Now since we've got nothing to really do, let's talk about budgeting and let's talk about pricing about the PCs I've already built. Pretty much right now, it cost me $260 for this whole computer, and I can expect to sell it for around about, I'll say $500, 600 bucks. If I sell it for $650, I'll make a $280 profit, which is really good. Pretty much, if you haven't noticed, on all of my, my spreadsheets, I always provide an ID, which is a 6-digit ID, which is just random letters. It just how sometimes when I build computers, I might put a post-it note on the computer with its ID. And also after that I give it a name, and this one's an i5 7500. Usually the CPU is a way to identify it, but especially in last season when I built like 10 computers, 15 computers, I used a case, as I couldn't really find two of the same case. That's probably the rule of thumb, and this is a gigabyte. Usually I would put gigabyte. I think it's a gigabyte C200. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much here, GPU cost us $160, 160 there. Accessories is $25 for the RGB fans. Case was $55. This computer's actually gonna cost a lot. CPU, motherboard, RAM was $220. This computer is costing me $510. We haven't even factored in storage. Oh, this one we factored in storage. Okay, storage is something I haven't actually bought. My SSD supplier says he may have SSDs. Maybe Trade Me, PTL. Usually you find good hard drives on Trade Me, but I'm gonna try to find a 1 TB hard drive for about 25 bucks. Usually I get those deals with Andy, get a hard drive. I only had to buy an SSD, which I get from Chuck. But in this season, I'll not be relying on sources. So pretty much everything we've built today has been relied on individual people. Instead of just shipping 10 computers to me and shipping 10 graphics cards to me, making computer flipping really easy, I'm making it hard for myself. What else? So that cost me $220. Storage $50, accessories $25, GPU $160, and let's fill out the specs. This is an i5 7500. One thing I really like about my spreadsheet is that you can definitely quickly see what parts you used. Is that DDR3, DDR4? I think that's DDR4. Yeah, 16 gigabytes of DDR4. Yada yada yada. You guys get the point. So this computer, I bought it for $510 and sold it for $650. I'm gonna make $140. That computer has an RX 570. That has a GTX 960. That computer's gonna sell for less. That computer's gonna sell for more. In my opinion, that computer, the RX 570 computer, is much more future-proof. GTX 960 is more beginners. Although the RX 570 is also beginners, it's better. It's better in general, especially for stability and FPS. Anyway, so that's pretty much my budgeting. I might do some more detailed budgeting later. Certainly, games are done. Oh, well, that's convenient. For me personally, I put a 5-hour, 6-hour cap on PC flipping per day, because I do have to actually study and balancing study and this. Though it's actually not that bad. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. Comment down below what you guys think about PC flipping and what I'm doing. Comment down below what do you guys think of the most jankiest way of fixing computers, the 8-card method. It's a cheap test bench pretty much, and especially when you're in doubt, use an 8-card or your motherboard box. That also works. But I just love my 8-card. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.